Hey everyone, it's Ginny Jester here with City Mystic, and I wanted to spend just a moment talking about the New York aspect of this deck. Why did we pick New York? I think that's something we talked about a little bit in the writing about the story, but I wanted to go into it a little more. So the idea, of course, came from a trip that I had in Paris in 2009. And over this span of the last 5 years, I've learned a lot about tarot, a lot about world travel, but I also learned a lot about history. I went really deep into this study of history. So the French Revolution and the royal families and the way that monarchies sort of crumbled and the role that Europe played in the revolution and the freedom, all that stuff has really fascinated me and very much compelled my interests over the last 5 years. So one thing that kind of thread of studies led me to is understanding the role of the occult and occult practice in all of these. And that's how we get to New York, because New York is a city that's very much crafted in occult themes. For instance, one thing that we go over in the deck that I've actually taken the time to write extensively about in the companion book. So here I'll show you. I have my collector's edition deck, hand-built box and all. And so in the companion book that comes with this is also what's available in the digital download version for $25 too. All of the major arcana have 3 paragraphs written about each card. So the first paragraph tells us about what we're seeing. So I'll read you, let's see, what we see, for instance, in, let's look at, what's a good one? Justice is a good one. Okay. So, card number 11, Justice. Once again, we see on one of the 4 continents as conveyed at the National Museum of the American Indian. We are looking at America, the only of the 4 sculptures to convey action and motion. Ready to move, she holds a torch in her hand, a corn in her lap. Her right foot rests on the head of Quetzalcoatl, an Aztec deity. Superimposed behind is a relief from the Radio City Music Hall. The Grand Master of Drama appears vaguely in the background. The relationship between America and the drama relief sparks a dialogue around what is truly fair and just. Quetzalcoatl is the god of light, justice, mercy, and wind. With her foot on his head, the America statue can be perceived as one that is firmly grounded in justice. The second paragraph that we have in each of these major writings expresses what the psychological meaning, if we were to put it in the context of Joseph Campbell and The Fool's Journey, this paragraph sort of aims to take a snippet of that and convey it, hopefully to give you a better reading. So here's what I had to say about the second paragraph of Justice. Justice professes, ask not what is just in the eyes of man, but what is just in the heart of the cosmos. What is true cosmic justice, and how is your life expressing that now? Be it legal matters or circumstantial interplays, justice is a call to assess and respond to our immediate situations with higher mind and the fair sword of truth. At the end of the day, justice is loyal to none and all. And then, of course, the third paragraph is how to put the card into the context of a reading. What does this mean in your life if it shows up in a spread in front of you, if you're using the deck that way? In a reading, Justice asks you to see through the drama, to look beyond self-serving impulses, and to receive that which is truly fair and just for all involved. Justice leaves us with the lingering lesson, wrapped in a single question. Is your aim or desire truly fair for all involved? Once asked, such a question cannot be wiped from our awareness, marking a point of maturity spanning beyond our immature relationship to the external world. What legal matters are you tending to? How have you been fair or unfair? Are you in a situation that feels out of balance or not mutually beneficial? If so, it is time to bring balance, light, and mercy to the matter. So I wanted to just expose a little bit of how that works in this deck, and just to show you what the Justice card looks like. Look at all these. While I'm looking for it, I'll show you what we've got here. So Justice here. Now, in the paragraph about the monuments, you'll see that the woman here in the figure with this sort of swift moving, and she's got her foot on top of Quetzalcoatl. This is the Americas statue, and this is, of course, in front of the Museum of the American Indian. And then back here, this circle is actually, there are these huge reliefs on the side of Radio City Music Hall, which are very, very interesting and very occult. If you know anything about the occult or principles of the occult, whether they be Hermetic or Kabbalistic or based on tarot or otherwise Masonic, these reliefs are very powerful, and it was very striking to me that they were on the side of Radio City Music Hall because they point to power and dominion by way of sort of dramatic manipulation, using drama, using masks, using emotional charges to get people to behave in certain ways or to convey certain ideas. And I think to the untrained eye, they might just look like really weird, creepy looking Art Deco reliefs on the side of this building. But if you really know anything about, as I said, if you know anything about Masonry, the occult, or the like, then you know that these are intentional sort of sigil magic types of reliefs that are saying, we claim this entertainment business, we claim this entertainment notion as a tool for disseminating ideas, as a tool for disseminating information, as a tool for having control in some regard over the population. So that's very interesting to me, and a lot of cards are like that. Another one that stands out is the Sun card, and this one really, I mean, one of the things that I love about this deck is it came together on its own, really. We went and photographed, I did no research beforehand, I wanted to get a cold read of the city. What was it going to say to the camera? What was it going to say to us? And, you know, how well do we really know our tarot? I really wanted to kind of let all of those things flow with this deck. And so it was really cool when we put it together. After we put all the images together, then I started working on the booklet. So I started doing research for what was in the images and what we were going to write about in the book. And this has got to be one of my favorites. This is the Sun card here. Now, of course, this is the only card where I put my own image in the deck, and the only reason I did that was because if you can really see, I'm holding the camera and the camera lens here, so this is a reflective image of the camera lens, and I just thought this is the only image that I got that reflected the camera lens on the whole trip, and I thought it would be so perfect to put it in the center of the Fred F. French building. Here's why. This entryway, there's this like sort of chandelier here, all of this Byzantine, this square here, and all of this painting relief. This is all the entryway to the French building, and it's this very ornate looking doorway in the middle of the street. Like everything else is pretty plain. No one really cares or is paying attention to it when at least when we were on foot walking down the street. And yet it's very elaborate. And so the research that I found is that this entryway was actually fashioned after the Gate of Ishtar, which is one of the world's most Byzantine and involved gates in Babylon. That was part of the entryway to Babylon. And so this was made as a sort of altar or honoring space to the goddess Ishtar, fashioned exactly after the Babylonian gate to the goddess of Ishtar. And also what's interesting about this building is way up high on the sides are these mosaic tile reliefs that basically claim New York as the new Babylon. This is directly based on the occult, on Masonry, on non-pop culture principles. This was a building that was crafted in the early 1900s. I think it was 1914. Don't quote me on it, but somewhere in that vicinity, or either early the teens or the early 20s, and it's just not, no one talks about it. It's not that big of a deal, and it blows my mind why that would be. So there are other examples of that too in the deck with Grand Central Terminal and the Mercury relief that's built there. There's all this sort of occult spellcasting that's gone on in New York City with very clear Masonic devices or very clear occult devices, very clear uses of ancient gods and goddesses for the sake of claiming New York as a hub for that kind of energy. So it's something that very much fascinates me, continues to fascinate me, and fascinated me when I first conceptualized the deck, and then when Chris and I first started about seriously talking, seriously started talking about doing this deck together. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied now. So I wanted to take some time to really point that part out. This isn't just a tarot deck, and it's not just a photography deck, and it's not just a travel deck. It's really unique in that there are several facets to it. One of my favorite being the opportunity to really highlight the role that the occult has played in a very real, outright way in our modern culture and our modern society. So I hope that reveals a bit about the deck to you and maybe gets you to think about it in a more expanded way. There are lots of ways to look at and learn from this deck, not just in terms of tarot. So thanks so much for watching, and go City Mystic. If you'd like to support the deck, we are very close to reaching our goal, so you can follow the link provided and contribute to the campaign. If you know of someone who you think would really value this deck, please let them know. And of course, we've got some great pledges to go in with friends on for multiple decks and things like that. So check it out. We've tried to keep it accessible to all pledge levels. So we hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for your support, and I'll talk to you soon.